What's up, everyone? It is Thursday afternoon. I'm on my way home from work. I think it's like, I don't know what the date is. Doesn't matter. So, firstly, I'm going to start this off with thank you everyone for the responses on the last video. I've had actually a few people message me about it and just sort of how heated it got. And a few people were sort of talking about, like, how, like, the, trying to get motivated and, listening to that, or, sort of seeing, how much extra time and stuff I put in sort of helps motivate them, which is really cool. I'm glad that what I'm able to do for myself can help others sort of build up their drive and, need or want to create the things that they want to create, whether it's comics or just artwork in general. It's awesome. So thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate it. And I love talking to you guys. It's nice to actually start having these conversations as well, and talking about it and understanding what drives other people. Another thing that I want to talk about, just very briefly before I sort of get into a bit of an update for you all. What I'm planning on doing with these videos is, the video format's going to stay the same, and when I say stay the same, it's going to be these boring driving vlogs, just me talking and saying what I've been working on. They're not super exciting. I probably understand that. Some of you get a bit out of them. Some of you don't quite like them. You prefer the tutorial stuff. I want to do the tutorial stuff, but time is definitely not on my side in that regard. So what my intention is to at least be creating content for you guys. Doing something is better than nothing as far as I'm concerned. So I'll be doing these vlogs very regularly. I'll be keeping them under the name the Monkey Junk Vlog. I think it's Monkey. I can't even remember. I just sort of go into like a weird autopilot thing when I'm putting everything into YouTube. But regardless, this is going to be a format that's going to stay, and it's going to be, I suppose, what any of these videos have always been. Like with the 100 Days of Making Comics, or with the old vlogs, or the Making Comics series I did. It's a little bit of, here's what I'm doing, but it's a little bit of like, here's what's happening, here's a topic that I'm involved in, or here's something that I'm doing and I'm passionate about this topic and I want to discuss it with you all, very much like yesterday. So I'm going to continue that up, but what I want to do is I want to get into other platforms. So if you prefer YouTube, if you're more of a YouTube person, you can just continue to come to YouTube and watch these videos. But I understand that there's some people out there who don't have the time to watch YouTube videos, or just don't like watching YouTube videos. It's not the platform for them. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to be ripping the audio out of these. I'm not going to be editing them. I'm not going to be doing anything fancy. And I'm just going to throw them into a podcast format for people to listen to on their phones or whatever device they listen to their podcasts on, just to create a broader reach for you all, for those who just prefer that format. That's it. That's all it is. It's not this big wow thing. It's just, I want to have the content available to people in sort of multiple areas. So you've got YouTube, you've got this, and then you've also got the Instagram, where I'll be posting sort of image updates and things like that. And that's more of a behind the scenes art look. I don't really talk a lot about process there. It's a good way to just get, some sneak previews of what's coming, or if I'm going to be having sales, or if, something new, a new product is going to be available within, sort of for Monkey Junk, etc. That's a good place to do that. Another thing that I'm looking into is doing a fan club, so a Monkey Junk style, a Monkey Junk based fan club, which will essentially be a newsletter, either a fortnightly or monthly newsletter, which will just be sort of a recap of things, probably some links to some popular videos from this series, also talking about any sales that's happening, or any new products, like new books that are out, etc., that kind of thing. Just want to cover as many bases as possible to allow you all to have a connection to me and a connection to Monkey Junk, because that, if you obviously haven't noticed, Monkey Junk is definitely where my heart's lying at the moment. Monkey Junk is the one thing that I'm pushing very heavily, and it's the one thing I'm going to be working on for a very, very long time, assuming all goes well. Now, the one thing I want to really focus on with this video, now that all of that gubbs is out of the way, I want to talk to you about the goal of all of this for me. So, I've spoken about this in the past a little bit. Some of that has evolved, but I'm sure there's a lot of you who are either new to the YouTube channel or new to just Monkey Junk, and you're into it, but you might not be invested. I'm obviously super invested in it, but I want to explain to you why, and hopefully that'll put a little bit of faith into you all that this isn't some comic book that's just going to exist for a little bit and then it's going to disappear, and you don't want to waste your time getting invested in it, because what's the point? Now, the reason I say that is I have an internal fear, a fear that I'm fighting quite heavily, that when I did one of my last comics called The Legend of Rock, I did an issue 0 comic, which was sort of like an introduction into the characters of that universe. We started issue 1 not long after it was done, and we never finished it. That's more to say I never finished it. Had nothing to do with the writer's part. He'd actually finished the issue and was starting on the next chapter. I never got around to it. I don't know. When I sort of look back, I can't even remember exactly what it was, for the reason I stopped. Me and the writer still have a really good relationship. We're actually, we're best friends, as far as I'm concerned. I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. Pardon me. But yeah, not completing that and then having people afterwards going, oh, when's the next issue coming out? And well, it's not, unfortunately. We're not going to do another one. Oh, but I love the characters so much, and I love this, and we created a merchandise range through Redbubble. We'd done stickers, we had trading cards, we'd even started up a fan club where we were getting people to write in addresses so we could actually send out physical fan mail. We'd really done the whole deal, and I was a lot younger then, and look, I goofed. I really goofed up the whole thing. I wish I didn't, and I've got a fear that because of that, people don't have as much trust in me as I want them to, and I want to prove them wrong. I want to go, here's Monkey Junk, here's the project I'm working on, and we're not going down anytime soon. So, sorry, I've had a lack of eye contact here because I am in traffic, and I just want to make sure I don't get into an accident. I'm usually pretty safe on the road. I do these videos all the time, so do not fear, my friends. Now that I've said that, something's probably going to happen. Something's going to go, screw you, Chris, you smart ass. Anyway. So that's a little fear that I've got. I want to break, one, that fear for me, and two, if there is that little stigma around it, I want to prove everyone else who sort of doesn't believe that it's going to continue, I want to prove them wrong. I want to prove that I can do this. I want to prove that I can do an ongoing series. I want to prove that I can build a universe, along with the help of Lee, of course, and I can create a story, I can create characters that people can be emotionally invested in and actually love as much as we love creating them. Now, Monkey Junk for me is a little bit more than just the comic book series. My ultimate goal is to take Monkey Junk from the page to the screen eventually. I want to create enough of a catalogue and enough of a fan base that I can walk into an animation studio and pitch it and say, hey, you've probably already heard of this, because that's my intention, will be that I'll be talking pretty loudly about Monkey Junk for a very long time, that hopefully it'll have resonated around, that someone will have at least heard of it all over the world. And I can walk in and say, you've probably heard of us, here's who we are, here's what we do, here's the first 6 books or 12 books or whatever we're up to at the time that we're ready to do this. here's the following we have. Here are the people who read the book and love the book as much as we do. Here's how much interaction we get, etc., etc. These are all dreams. All of these things that I'm saying are all part of the dream to get to this end goal, and get an animated series out, or a movie, or whatever it is. I want this to be more. I'd love to see these guys animated. I'd love to see toys of these guys. When I say these guys, I'm talking about Abby, Chris, Geordie, Bopo, Sprocket, and Shadow. Sprocket and Shadow you don't know yet because they haven't been released yet. But these are all characters within the comic, and I want to see the best for them. I'd love to get to a point where maybe we get a publisher for the books, and I can go backwards, hire a colorist, and color the comic. Go back in time and do what I really wanted to do with it from the very beginning, if I had the time and money. But one of my early goals in this, and it's still a long-term goal, but it is an early goal, is I want to build Monkey Junk up to a brand standard that there's more than the comics. I'm already thinking of ideas like children's books, merchandise, like pins would be awesome, clothing would be very awesome. There's plenty of stuff in there that I think would reflect really well in a clothing range for the comic book. And there's more merch that you could do anything really. You could do stickers, you could do bookmarks, you could do postcards, you could do colouring books, you could do sticker books, you could do toys, like you probably could do toys, you could do paper craft, cutouts and things like that. There's heaps. There's so much on my mind that I've thought of doing to build the brand that is Monkey Junk. And the reason behind it, and some people might think that it's a really far-fetched idea, it's why would some silly independent creator think that anyone's going to want to buy all that stuff, etc. Well, the concept is that I push the comic enough, it's free to read online, I'll build a fan base, and people will eventually want to buy these things, hopefully. Just like they would want to buy an Adventure Time toy, or a Steven Universe bag, or a Rugrats t-shirt, or whatever it is. I want to have Monkey Junk on scale with those types of properties, and the concept of being able to do that on my own is daunting, but I know that it's possible. I want to create the brand, build the brand, take whatever money is made on it and reinvest it in for advertising and things like that, and just keep growing and growing and growing until it gets to a point where it's funding itself. And when I say funding itself, it's funding me and Lee to actually work full-time on Monkey Junk and other properties that we already have in mind that we want to work on. One of the things I would love to do, I'd absolutely love to do, is a card game or a board game, or both, for Monkey Junk. That would be absolutely awesome. The universe is huge, and we could definitely do it with the things that we have planned. So that's sort of a quick roundup of like my goals. Monkey Junk for me isn't just this comic book series that I want to do for fun because I can do it. Monkey Junk is sort of everything I am at the moment. It is a brand that I want to grow and get to a level of, it's my profession, it's my job. Monkey Junk will eventually become my job, hopefully. And I'm working my ass off to do it, and I think that's quite apparent. They're huge goals, and I'm quite open with those goals, and I'm going to be very open with you guys within these talks about how I'm getting there and how I'm building it and growing it. Because not only do I want to do it, but I also want, and I'm nearly home, so I'm going to cap this off quickly. Not only do I want to do it, and I want to prove to myself that I can do it and that it's possible, I want to prove to you all that this is possible as well. I want to prove to you that you can be successful without having to rely on anyone else if you're willing to put in the hard work to do it. If you're willing, I'm actually going to take a quick detour and go the long way home just so I can finish this off, because I'm getting fired up This always happens, always get fired up towards the end. You can do it. You can create the characters that you want to create. You can draw them, or you can hire someone to draw them. You can hire someone to write them. You can build this universe or build this world. And it doesn't have to be this cool superhero comic or action comic. It can be a slice of life comic. It could be a autobiographical comic, or children's book. Or there's an ant above me. Why are there ants in my car? That's weird. Whatever it is that you want to create, you can take that and you can make it into something profitable and manageable on your own, or you can take it, build it up with time and hard work, and you can then pitch that to someone. Especially in today's world, or the internet, you can hire someone in India or in China or Japan or America and pay them to animate your script. You can pay someone to design all your character models. You can pay someone to do all your environmental design. Whether you work full-time to fund this, or whether you do some other side hustle to fund it, or whether you do this so much that it starts to fund itself, you can do it. You don't all the resources are there and they exist for you. And that's what I'm going to be doing with Monkey Junk. That's what I intend to do, and I intend to make this a reality. I intend to make this work for me and my family. I mean, that's probably one of my biggest drivers that I probably don't talk about enough, is I have a family and I want to support them, and I want to also want to be there and watch my daughter grow up, and I want to hang out with my wife every day, and want to work for the man for the rest of my life. So, all right, I'm home. That detour was helpful, thank God. I got most of it out. I'll catch you all for the next update. Have a great one. Keep making comics, and I'll see you all very soon.